Hello students, today we will be trying to find out the dominant eigenvalue for a particular matrix using a different method. Okay, last video we have derived it using a characteristic equation, and this time we are going to derive it by using an power method. So as you can see in the screen, we are going to use a power method. The theory for power method has already been shared in Google Classroom. Before watching this video, you can go through the theory and then you can try to relate it with my video lecture. Okay, so let us move on. So see, we are just doing it practically. I'm not putting much into the theory because I know that you can simply go through the theory and write it down in exam, but the more important thing is to apply it practically. So let us do that. What we are going to do right now, so see, we have taken the same matrix that we have taken in the last video. We have not changed it. Okay, so there is a reason for it. The reason is that we are going to match the results. Okay, we are going to match the results with the previous solution, so whether we are getting the same result with both the methods or not. Okay, so for that let us start with. So basically, in power method, what do we have? We have an A, that means the matrix we have, suppose A B C D, like that. Okay, and in another thing that we have is that's called, we will write it as capital X. So we will have an initial trial that will be looking like this. Okay, so if it is 2 by 2, it will be 2 by 1. Okay, remember that. So in exam you may have to do it for a 3 by 3 matrix also, just remember that. So if you get a 3 by 3 matrix, then you will have to take a 3 by 1 matrix. So simply, so you need to keep this thing in mind. Okay, so this is the trial. Okay, this is the trial matrix we have taken. So this is the trial eigenvector. So this is not the correct one, we are just trying it. Okay, so next what we are going to do, first x1 will go like this, a x naught. Okay, then we will do x2, that means a x1. So a x1 means a x naught, so it will be a square x naught. Similarly, x3 will be a x2. So a x2 is nothing but a square x naught, so it will be a cube x naught. Are you getting? Similarly, if we go for say x4, it will be a x3, so it will be a cube x naught, so ultimately it will be a for x naught. So if you repeat it for n number of times, say xn, so it will be a x n minus 1, so it will go and you will find something like this. Okay, so that means ultimately the trial will remain the will give you the ideal value. Okay, so that we are going to check practically. So leave the theory behind, we are just going to apply it practically. So here we have a equal to 2 minus 12 1 minus 5 2 by 2, and then we have x naught equal to 1 and 1, that is 2 by 1. Okay, so let us find out x1. So it is a x naught, so it is 2 minus 12 1 minus 5. Okay, and then we have 1 and 1. Okay, so what does it give? So you know that 2 into 1 minus 12, so it will be minus 10. I will do it in detail, wait. So 2 into 1 minus 12 into 1, and then 1 into 1 minus 5 into 1. So what does it give? 2 minus 12 means minus 10, and 1 minus 5 means minus 4. Okay, so first thing, so now we have the job to do. Now we need to apply a trick. What is that trick? Is that choose this one, whatever. Okay, that we will call it as m1. So m1 is equal to here minus 4. So take minus 4 common. Okay, so if I take minus 4 out, what will remain? Minus 10 by minus 4, and it will be 1. Yes, so minus 4. So minus 10 by minus 4 is nothing but 2.5 by 1. All right, so this is the first step finish. So this is the, now leave it like this. Okay, now we will go to x2. x2 is nothing but a x1. So what is a? 2 minus 12, 1 minus 5. Okay, and what is x1? x1 is nothing but this one, isn't it? Minus 10 minus 4. So it is minus 10 minus 4. Okay, so what does it give? 2 into 10 means minus 20, minus 12 into 4. How much it is? 48. Minus plus. Similarly, minus 10, 20. So what we are left with? 28 and 10. So see what we will be doing now. Here take this out. So now m2 is 10. Okay, so we want to make this part 1. Okay, so for that I will take 10 out of it, is it? And then it will be 28 by 10, and 10 by 10 means 1. Okay, so 10 into, you see, 2.8 and 1. Okay, so earlier how much it was? 2.5 and 1. Now we have 2.8 and 1. Okay, then so we had 2.51. Next step is 2.81. Okay, again we will do x3. x3 is nothing but ax2. So ax2 means 2 minus 12, 1 minus 5, and x2 means, again, x2 is nothing but 28, 10. So 28 and 10. So what does it give? I will simply write it down. It is minus 64 minus 22. Okay, so what we are going to do, we will choose this, is it? I want to make it what? 1. So this time m3 is minus 22. So minus 22 I am taking common, so it will be minus 64 by minus 22, and this is 1. All right, so minus 22, and it is equal to 2.91 and 1. Okay, so this is our x3. So you see, this next step is how much? 2.91 and 1. Okay, so next x4 is nothing but ax3. So 2 minus 12, 1 minus 5, x3. What was x3? You see, this is x3. x3 is nothing but this, minus 64 minus 22, minus 64 minus 22. So it comes out to be, if you simplify, it will be 136 and 46. You just do it on your own. So I will just make it 1. Okay, so this time m4 equal to how much? 46. So I will take 46 common, so it will be around 2.96 and 1.00. Okay, so this is x4, this is x4. So what is the next step? 2.96 and 1. All right, next let us go to x5. So it is 2 minus 12, 1 minus 5, and here it is x4. What is x4? 136, and x4 is 136, 46. 136, 46. So if you solve this, x5 will be around minus 280 and 94. So now this is our m5. Okay, m5 is minus 94. So I will take 94 minus 94 out. So it is minus 280 by minus 94, and this is 1. Okay, so minus 94. So it is around 2.98100. Okay, so this is our x5. So what happened in the x5 fifth stage? It was 2.98. So we went up to 2.98100. Okay, so let us try. See, you might be thinking how long we need to continue. Now you see, from here to here, okay, what is the gap? 0.3. Now here to here, what is the gap? 0.11. Now what is here to here? The gap is now decreasing. Can you understand? Here the gap is on 0.05, and then here the gap is almost 0.02. So here to here gap is 0.3. Here to here gap is 0.11. Here to here gap is 0.05, and here to here it is 0.02. So we need to keep on doing that till we start getting a constant value. We don't does if it, so we will try one more. Okay, so if you do similarly for x6, it will go up to 568, 190, and if you take 190 common, so it will be 2.99, 1.00. So if you remember from last video, the answer was this, which we derived by using characteristic equation. So but here also you can see that the result is almost near. So using power method, what we got? 2.99. so this one we obtained by using power method. Okay, so in our syllabus we are not supposed to do with characteristic equation. We are supposed to get the result by using power method. So you need to continue to do this process. Okay, like x1, then to x2, then to x3, x1, x2, x3, then x4, like that, till you need to continue till the gap between these values reduces and it becomes almost 0. So you can see that at last it becomes 2. So it was at first it was 2.5, then 1, then it went to 2.81, then it went to 2.911, then it went to 2.961, then it went to 2.981, and then it went to 2.991. So it's good, it is pretty much good to stop the iteration. You need not go further because you have almost achieved constant value. So here the gap is around 0.01, here the gap is around 0.02, here the gap is 0.05. So like that. So it is pretty good to stop here. So So this is the power method for finding the eigenvector, okay, but you need to find out the eigenvalue also. So here whatever you have obtained, that is only eigen. So what is the eigenvector? That is 2.991. okay, so this is the dominant eigenvector. Now you need to find out eigenvalue corresponding to that dominant eigenvector x equal to 2.991. okay, so for that there is a formula. okay, that formula is formula for eigenvalue from power method. okay, so there is a formula. What is it formula? Lambda equal to ax transpose into x and then x transpose into x. okay, so this is called Rayleigh's quotient. okay, this thing is called Rayleigh's quotient. okay, so this is a kind of ratio. By using that you can find out the value of the eigenvalue. okay, so let us apply that. So first of all we will find out ax. so a is means 2 minus 12, 1 minus 5. so x this time is nothing but 2.91100. okay, so if you do that it will be equal to minus 6.02 minus 2.01. all right, now we need to take transpose of this. Transpose means row converted to column, column converted to row, they are interchanged. so it will be so it is 2 rows and 1 column. now we need to convert it to 1 row and 2 columns. so how to do that? Minus 6.02 minus 2.01. done. Now again we need to multiply this thing with again x. so we have minus 6.02 minus 2.01 and then again x 2.9199 1.00. okay, so this is 1 by 2 and this is 2 by 2, sorry 2 by 1. so definitely it is going to be a number. so it will be minus 6.02 into 2.99, then minus 2.01 into 1.00. so it will be almost equal to 20.00. okay, approximate. you can use your pen and use calculators, no issues. so that is one thing. For the formula you see we have got only this part, we need this part. so x transpose means 2.99 1.00 and x means 2.99 1.00. so it is 1 by 2, this is 2 by 1. so x transpose into x means 2.99 1.00 1 by 2 to 2.99 1.00 2 by 1. so this is again going to be a number. so 2.99 into 2.99 plus 1.00 into 1.00. so it will be almost equal to 9.94 approximately. use calculator. just always remember that if you are using up to 2 decimal points, here also write 2 decimal point and here also write 2 decimal points. so you need to maintain a consistency. You cannot do in one number, you cannot do 3 decimal points. In one number you cannot do 2 decimal points. So always maintain a consistency while writing the values. So it's up to you. If you like 3 decimal points, you keep it. If you like 2 decimal point, you keep it. So do according to that. So we have, so lambda equal to ax transpose into x transpose into x. So ax transpose into x, that value was nothing but 20. So 20.00, and that was minus, and this was equal to 9.94. So it will almost be equal to 2.01. okay. So if you remember from the last characteristic equation also, dominant eigenvector was approximately equal to 2, if you remember from the last video. okay, so that means almost we have proven that we are getting the same answer. So you might be thinking that why we should be doing it for power method. This is basically used for bigger matrices where it becomes little bit difficult for solving for all the values. okay, so these are the kind of shortcut to solve this matrix, to get the eigenvalues and eigenvectors for a complicated matrix. So some of the examples are given in the sample books that I have shared in the Google Classroom. I expect all of you to download those books and solve some of the sample problems on your own. Don't take the numbers from the book exactly, because I have seen that there are some mistakes in the calculation in the book. So be careful. Take only the examples, solve it on your own. Don't copy from that book. Try to get your own answer. If you are confused, you can share with me. I will check and let you know whether you have done it correctly or not. Again, I am repeating, don't copy exactly from that book. That book has some kind of mistakes in the calculation that I have seen. So you may not be able to detect that. So it is always better to take only the problem and solve on your own by using pen and paper. So that's all for today.